Welcome everybody, Farm Sim Snowy here. So in this video we're going to look at the build mode and landscaping tool. So first of all, what we want to do is go into our build mode menu. Now I am hearing it's slightly different across the consoles. So for me, if I go down to these three horizontal lines, I can access my construction menu, which opens up the build mode. I think on PS4 some of you guys are saying it's just hitting the square button and it opens it up. So we can access it from this menu for me. But another little tip is, and again I'm not sure if this works for any of the other consoles, but I'm on PS5, so if I hold L1 down and press the touchpad in, it gets you up to the build mode menu that way a lot quicker. So it possibly could work on PS4 and Xbox, but obviously I'm not sure. But that's a quick way of getting into your build mode. So we've got our character there, you can see on the floor where we were stood just a second ago. And then we've got all these different menus across the top. We've got buildings, productions, animals, decoration, and then landscaping at the end. So it's just going to be a brief sort of look at all of them. I'm not going to go through the slots on each one, but we'll have a quick look and how they work and put some of them down for you. So first of all, the first menu in buildings is sheds, and there is quite a few sheds, as you can see. So they're all different sizes, prices, but they are all very nice indeed. Some of them you might recognise, like the easy sheds from FS19. And then we've got an absolutely large one at the back, at the end, sorry. But some of them, what is interesting, they have solar panels on. So as you can see on the far right, garage for contractors. This will generate $60 per hour. Obviously depending on what economy mode you're on. I'm on normal, so that's going to generate $60 per hour. And it says at the bottom right hand corner, shelter with hourly income to park your vehicles and tools. So if we did click on that, whoa, that is huge. As you can see, you've got the solar panels on. You can spin these around. Again, for me it's L1 and R1, like so. The price changes as you go, and you can zoom in and out. I do find it a little bit fiddly because when you zoom out you can't really get down that low. It won't let me go down any lower than that. So I think the bigger the machine, the bigger the building, it's more harder to see, but you can sort of go inside. I do like the fact you can actually see the buildings in this version, whereas FS19 it was just green sort of outline of it. So it's very cool. So I think we will plonk one of these just down to take a quick look at it. And again, I'm not going to show you everything, but if we run inside and check it out, I think we can go through these small doors. Yep, and we've got huge doors. Obviously they're all going to vary, but another feature I do like on the sheds is if we go inside, if we keep our eye on the help menu, turn on shed lights. It doesn't really matter where you are, so you don't have to hunt around trying to find a light switch. So if we click L3 for me, we can turn on all the lights from anywhere in here. So that is quite a cool feature. I like that. Also, if we go back into build mode, if we go towards one of the buildings, as you can see it changes colour. So if we press R3 for me, again says select up in the help menu there. So if I press R3, it comes up with that building. We can sell that building from this menu. It says how long we've owned it for. Obviously we've literally just put it down, so it's brand new. But you will lose money on it. Like everything really in the game, you don't get back what you paid for it. So we can sell that, and that disappears. So that's quite smart. So that is the sheds basically. So moving on from there, we've got silos. We've got all different types. We've got a hay loft there. It says storage space for hay and straw, so you can put your straw and hay in there with a capacity as well, 250,000 litres. Then we've got all the silos. I think this is the one we've got at your main farm on Elm Creek. Holds 400,000 litres and they go up like so. We've got some bins there and we've got some other silos. I don't think there's any multi-fruit silos in the game as of yet. So this is all base game equipment and everything. We've got a manure heap which it says in the animal menu that you need to place next to your cows and your pigs to get manure. I haven't tested all that. And we've also got a slurry tank. We've got bunker silos, small, medium, and we've got a sort of U-shaped one. We've got a large bunker silo and we've got one that size. What is quite cool with these bunker silos is if we get another one, and let's go over here, these don't spin, so I'm pressing L1 and R1, these snap round like that, so they will not spin round, they sort of snap. It is a little bit fiddly, so I'm pressing it again, it will eventually just snap in. But what I like is if we place one, if we then stay obviously the same way as this, if we get near this one, you can snap them together and join them together, so you can technically have a 3-bay bunker silo like that, which is again very cool. So that is all the silos section. Moving up across, we've got silos extensions, sorry. So if you want to add some more capacity to your silo, existing silo, you place one of these down and that one will give you 100,000 litre extra. It needs to be placed near your existing silo. Then we've got the manure heap, slurry tank small, slurry tank large, and then we've got this supplementary water tank which says down the bottom there it's for your greenhouses with water. I'm going to do a separate video on the greenhouses as well, so we'll take a look at that in more depth there, but that will hold 5,000 litres of water. And then next on the list here is containers. This is where you're going to find all your sort of like fuel tanks. We've got a small fuel tank, medium, 2 large ones with all the capacities, liquid fertilizer, another liquid fertilizer storage, and we've got this fella and also a water tank at the end. If you place one of these water tanks down and fill up from it, it will charge you, so just be aware. If you're on a map like there is just here, you can fill up for free from any sort of body of water if you've got it on your map. So just a little tip. This fella here is very interesting. I'm going to place one of these down over by this tractor and we'll take a look at that quick in a second. So that says this silo can be filled with different products. Quite vague, and it's got a 27,300 litre capacity, so I'm going to run over to that because it is quite cool. If we go round to the spanner, it says refill silo, so if we click on that, now you can fill this up with seeds or mineral feed. Obviously there's the capacity. Now it won't take a mixture of both, it's either one or the other, but obviously you could place another one down sort of next to it. So for instance, if we say seeds, and then you can select how much you want to fill it up for. So we're at the maximum there, 27,300, and we can go as low as 1 litre. So I'm going to put in 2,000 litres. By that is going to cost us to fill it up. Just confirm. That has now got 2,000 litres of seeds in it. If we jump over to our tractor, I know this is about build mode, but I just thought I'd show you this because I thought it was quite cool. So we've got our start filling info there on the help menu. So if we click start filling, there you go. It says seeds 2,000 litres. So if we start that, we take 2,000 litres of seeds out, and we can tip it back in. Look, it comes up with the start overloading. So that is basically storage for seeds and mineral food. Very smart indeed. Right, let's go back into the build mode. Right, so we were at containers, so let's click on tools. This is where you're going to find all things that you can use around your farm. So you've got your Karcher pressure washer there, got a weather station which says improves the weather forecast available to your farm, so that should be very handy for seasons. Vehicle workshop, electric charging station, so if you've got electric tractors you can place one of these and charge up from there. And likewise with the methane station here, we've got a couple of weighing stations, small and large, and that is it for tools. And in farmhouses we've just got one at the minute, which is the base in-game one, like so. Go back up the top menu, let's go on to productions. We've got some more menus. We've got factories, selling points, greenhouses, orchards and generators. So in factories we've got all sorts going on. We've got a couple of BGAs, different sizes in kilowatts, like so. It tells you what it will take: silage, slurry, chopped sugar beet and manure. And you can get out of there, I think it's methane, electric and digestate, so that's pretty cool. And then we've got all the production chain buildings, so if you wanted to place some more of these down on the map, or if there was a mod map out and they didn't have any, you can place these down like so. Got all sorts of different ones there. And then we've got some different variations of some of them, so different spinnery, different bakery, like so. So you can place those down if you wish. Selling points, again pretty much like the production chains. If you want to add a new sell point you can, and it gives you a list of what that sell point will take, so you can place these down. Lots to choose from. We've got the debris crusher there, which is for selling your stones or your rocks from your fields once you've collected them. Greenhouses, we've got 3 different sizes. We've got small, medium and large. Again, it tells you you need water to put water in, and you can get out lettuce, strawberries and tomatoes. And then in orchards we have got your grapevine and olive grove. These are pretty cool. So if we click on the grapes, and if we come up with the poll, let's just zoom in a little bit. It says place poll in the help menu top left. So if I press X and place poll, now it says because I've got seasons on, we cannot plant in August, but just to give you an idea of how it works, if you move, extend out, you can spin them around like so and place them down. So that's pretty cool. Olives work exactly the same. And then if we go back up the top, we've got generators. This is going to be all the items that you can place down on your farm or your land, and it will generate you money, again depending on what economy you're on. So we've got solar panels, we've got wind energy converters, wind turbines, as you can see. And then I've got these modded in, the government subsidy signs, which again I know some of you guys are having problems with mods. A couple of the PS4 guys that I know are saying they've got no mods showing up, so I'm not sure what that is all about, but there's not really anything I can do. I just hope they can fix it and sort it out. So back up the top, we'll move on to animals now. We've got all the different types of animals: cows, horses, pigs, sheep, chickens, bees and others. Not going to go through all of them, but they've all got sort of different buildings in there. Most of them have got a pasture as well as the sheds. I will go into detail on well, all of the animals. I've done some already, but the pasture you can place down like that. What I do like is if you can just see, if I zoom in that far corner, the fence does follow the contour of the land. So instead of just plonking it down and it making a sort of big dent in your field or area, it does follow it, so that's pretty smart. What I think we'll do is if we place down, let's go on pigs, let's place down a pigsty. We'll just go there. Again, you can spin them around like so. If you look in the help menu, it does say change colour, so if you keep your eye on where the doors are, If I push right on the D-pad, for me, we can change the colour of part of the building. It's not all of the building, it's just sort of this side. But that's pretty smart. Like so. Let's go for something a bit more stands out, the red. So I'm going to place that there. So that's pretty flat, that land, by the look of it, because that isn't charging us any extra. So we'll place that down. Like so. Now, whilst you're in this mode, if you're not happy with anything, you can come over to it and see these bunker silos. They change colour. They go like a purpley blue. So if once you're over it and the colour changes, for me again it's R3, but we want to select it. It tells you a bit more info. We can sell that off. So we can get rid of that. I know I've just showed you that, but I'm showing you it again. What is interesting is some of your buildings, you can hover over them like this, do select again, and they will come up with the rename option. So if I press square, we can get rid of pigsty and we can call it whatever we want. So let's just say, let's call it Porky Pig, and that comes up as Porky. If we quit out of that and go over where we are, that's our pigsty. If we click on that, there you go, it says Porky. And if you've got your field info on, if you run up to the building, bottom right, it says Porky, so it will come up with the name that you call it. Another thing that I thought was quite interesting is if we whiz over to our main farm, if you're in build mode like this, you can get rid of buildings in your farm. So if you click on that, we could sell that like so. Now some of them will leave a nasty hole like that, so you probably will have to do some landscaping. This building at the back, it's just for decoration, it doesn't do anything on the Elm Creek farm. So if you're not happy with that, click on that, sell that. You don't get anything for it, but it does get rid of that. Ignore the hayloft, I'll put that down for testing. Farmhouse, click on that. Again, we can rename that, so you can call it whatever you want, like Snowy's Pad or something. You can sell that. That gets rid of that. You can sell pretty much every building. The silo, you can sell that if you want. Anyway, let's get back over to where we were. So I won't show you everything, but in others, just so you know, is the doghouse, which you can place down. So there you go, that's pretty much all the animals. Decoration, this is really cool. I like this because it was so annoying on console when you were trying to line up fences and whatnot. There's an absolute ton of fences and gates in here, all different sizes and styles, as you can see, all the way along. We'll just pick a few in a second. And then right at the end, we've got 3 different size in heights of hedges. So let's just say, let's pick this style. I'm just going to put a little sort of wall around this pigsty. So if we start off with the pole again, place pole, bit like the grapevines, we need to pull that out. So now we can pull that right out. You are going to have trouble sometimes if you go, you can see the raise in the ground there, but if we come back over, that gets rid of that. So again, and if we press place pole again, that will snap that section in, but we can still carry on from that point. So we can go hopefully there. Can we go across there? We might have to just do that. Right, so that's, you get the gist of that. Now if you don't want to carry on, just finish or cancel, and that will get rid of that section like so. Now in terms of the gates, if we pick a gate that isn't really of the same style, so obviously you can see these 2 gates at the bottom, we've got the brick pillars. If we were to pick this style, it will let you put it down, but it won't look that great, will it? So there you go, it will let you do it. If we quit back out of there and we go to these gates that have got the brick pillars on, let's just move away. A bit like the bunker silos, as soon as we get this pillar next to this pillar on the wall, it disappears because that's snapping onto that. So now if we place pole and move, we've got our gates. And you can spin them round however you want. So if I go that way, like so, you can have double gates if you want. But if we quit back out of there, go back to our wall, same principle, that will snap onto that pillar. We can now drag that. If I get round and zoom out a bit, we can now drag that. Can we meet up with there? So it's terrain's too steep, which is a bit annoying, but you get the gist of it. You can, as long as you've got flat sort of land, you can, you know, pen in an area, which I think is pretty cool. And if we were to run up to the gates, they will work, they will open like so. So you can build yourself a really nice farm in this way. So moving on from there, we are going to look at we're in decorations, weren't we? Oh well, I'm just going to show you the hedges quick. I just put a line down on each one so you can see that they are different size hedges. Put them quite near to me and then go on the larger one like so. So quit back out, spin around. We've got 3 different sizes and heights of the hedges like so. So from there we've got all sorts of different lights going on, again a ton of them. Floodlights, I'm not going to show you all of them. Street lights, so if we wanted to put some nice lights either side of our fence gate, you can do like so. So plenty of options to choose from in here. If we go to others, this is all sort of decoration things. This, at the minute, it's just mainly sort of garden sheds. As you can see, you can spin these around again, place them down like so, and there you go. Now I've shown you if you want to get rid of things, but you need to be careful with the fences and the hedges, because with the buildings, so say this shed, it will go that colour. If we select it, we can get rid of that. Fences, as you can see, and hedges doesn't come up with any different colour. I'm clicking on it, it won't let me do anything. So how do we get rid of that? Well, if we scroll across the top right to the very end, you've got a demolish demolish button. So you come up to there now. If you press the X button, and again it says come up on the help menu, remove. We can remove these hedges now. You can hold it down and go along like that. And if you've noticed, we're not getting any money back from that. So if you put down any fences or hedges, you want to get rid of them, then you will lose the money that you've used to put down. You won't get anything back at all. So just something to be aware of. Obviously you do need to own the land if you want to place anything down, and I do advise you to save the game before you start messing around with landscaping and things like that, because if you're not happy with it, there is no undo button on the landscaping. So talking of landscaping, we are going to have a look at that now. Now I'm going to go in reverse on these menus here at the bottom. So we've got sculpting, painting, trees and plants. So let's take a look at plants. We've got all sorts of different types of plant in here. So we've got meadow. So if we put this down like so, you can paint a meadow. You can increase the cursor shape and size. So if we go, I'll tell you what, let's, because you're going to struggle to see this. Right, change of plan. Let's go to painting. So painting, we've got 6 different options as of yet. We've got animal mud, asphalt, dirt, forest ground, grass and gravel. So if I paint this whole area, because you'll be able to see better. So if we click on that, I don't like the way it, as soon as you click on it, it does a little patch like that. It's a bit annoying. But we can increase the brush size. I know it's difficult to see, so that's why I wanted to put this down. If you hold down the button, you can paint big like that, so it'll go over that meadow we've just put down, like so. Now if I come over this side, let's lower that brush size down slightly. You can change the shape of it as well, so at the minute we're on square, you can go circle if you want. So if we quit out of that and go along to asphalt, that will give us what we've got on this side. So you can paint that. Again, you can change the size of the cursor. Dirt, you can see you can paint in the dirt there, that colour. Forest ground, that gives that kind of texture. We'll run over and have a look at these in a second. And grass. Now this isn't grass that you'll be able to mow. This is just sort of decoration kind of thing. And then we've got gravel like so. Again, you can change the shape of the cursor and size on all of those. So let's just quickly go and check the textures. So this was the animal mud. Looks pretty cool. It's got that wet look about it. Gravel, the grass. I think this was the forest area. I can't remember what that one was. Dirt, I think. That's the asphalt. And then back to the animal mud. It's pretty cool. So that is the painting side of it. Now if we go back to plants, because that is what I want to show you, because I just want you to be able to see the cursor a bit better. So if we go to Meadow, click on that. Again, I don't like the way it drops a bit down, so if you want to start putting some Meadow down, make sure it, or anything like this in the painting mode or the plants and trees, make sure you're over the area that you want to be in, because it does that. So you can see the cursor a bit better now. That's what I wanted. You can't really see it that great on here. So we can change the size of it like so, all the way up to that. And then like I said earlier, you can change the shape of it. So the meadow, this is grass that you can cut. I've tested it. If you put this meadow texture down, you can cut that. But just be aware, whatever you've got underneath in terms of texture, you can just about see it still. So there you go. Same with these ones. Cone flower. Then we've got some more flowers, and we've got different types of bushes. I'm not going to go through everything. So as you can see, different shapes and sizes of plants and bushes. Trees. Lots and lots of trees to choose from. Again, I'm not going to go through all of them, so I'm just going to select a few to put down. We'll go over here. So that's, I'm not even going to say what that's called in case I get into trouble. Then we've got these little fellas like this. You can place them down, so you get the gist of it. So there's the trees. Now with the trees, this is another annoying thing. Whereas we've got rid of the buildings and whatnot like that, they don't change colour, so they're like the fences and hedges. So okay, cool, we can still get rid of them. Let's go across to demolish and go over the tree. No, we can't. So you cannot get rid of the trees even with the demolish button. So trees like this you're probably going to have to cut down if you're not happy with them. But ones like this, I'm not sure how you're going to fare with that, because that looks a bit awkward to cut down. It's not really got a trunk to it. So just something else to be aware of. let's go back up into our menus, landscaping. We've done the painting, now it's time to mess things up with the actual landscaping itself. So let's go into sculpting. Let's move out over here somewhere so we're not in the way there. Right, first of all we've got raise and lower, then we've got level, then we've got soften, and we've got slope. So first of all, with the raise and lower, if we click on that, again it starts it off for you. I really don't like that. So if I'll tell you what, let's go over here so you can see the cursor better. We can change the shape again and the size. So if we go something like that, I want it on square. If we raise that up, that will raise that as a kind of square. If we go to the circle and raise that up, that will raise that up as more like a dome. Now we can lower, so we can lower this, what we've just done, like so, or if you want to lower the actual ground itself, it will put like a hole, a dip in the ground if you wanted to do that. So we've already made quite a bit of a mess there. So that's the raise and lower section. This is the level section, which is pretty cool. So if we click on that, again we can change all the brush size up. So where we've created this hole, if we go over this side, because it will take it from the flattest piece of land you're on, if we press X for me, level in the help menu there, and hover over this area, that will now bring that all up level. If you go towards ground that is raised up like this, if we do that, it will level all that down. So pretty cool like that. Let's increase that so we can, and zoom out, we can do this a bit better. So that is getting rid of all of that what we just created, and it's kind of back to sort of normal. But what I will say about the level bit is it will take the sort of point you're at and it will level out from there. So as you can see just about here, we've got a dip now, but we're all nice and level here. And the same goes for over here where this field's sloping up. It's kind of just flattened it here. So just be careful of that as well, because it will cost you a lot of money. Money does go up as we're doing those things. So from there we have got soften. So we haven't really got anything to soften, so I'm going to go back to raise and lower. Let's change that to square and open that up quite a bit. I'm going to raise this right up and create a bit of a awkward mess, like so. So let's quit out of that. As you can see, there's quite a few jagged edges on here. So if we move along to soften, this is a bit like the smooth tool in FS19. It pretty much works the same. So if we go to these areas and press the X button to soften, it gradually smooths that out and softens it out. So it does take away the rough sort of edges. So that's the softening tool. That's pretty cool. Now what I want to do is I'm going to make a bit of a platform here, because the next bit is very cool, I think. So if we level this across at the top here, let's make that a bit bigger. So we're going to create ourselves a bit of a platform up here. Like so. I think that might do. We'll just come out a little bit more. Something like that. We've made ourselves a bit of a platform like that, which is pretty cool. Right, let's zoom out a bit so you can see. So if we go on to slope now, which is the last one, click on that. In the help menu you can see it says slope to point at the top. We don't want that, but two more down it says set slope target point. So if I go on the square because I think it will give us a better sort of slope. We'll go, let's go that size, I think. So if we hit set slope target, if you're on the platform that you want to be on, so we want to slope up to this level, if we press square for me, set slope target point, that's pretty cool. It's going to register that. Now if we go, say here, about there, and head towards that level, that of ground that we've just created, so slope to point, if I press the X button and hold that down and slowly move towards our raised ground, that is now bringing up a slope to that level, which I think is awesome. I'm going to spin round so you can see it a bit better. I'm still trying to get used to the controls on this build mode. It's a bit... So I've created a little bit of a bump there because I think it's because I stopped. But that will now slope up and it will stop at that point where you need to be. That's because I stopped. Look, I've created a sort of worse slope now. So technically, I suppose I've messed that up completely, guys. I do apologise. So if I change the brush size down onto that, if we start that again, set slope target point, go from there. If I now do that again from here, hopefully that will slope up to this piece. As you can see, it's doing it. That's good. I wish I hadn't stopped now because that ruined that. Right, I'm just going to jump into our pickup just to show you. We've got a bit of a slope there. I think the problem there was because I stopped. We can drive up now. I know it's a bit rough, but you get the idea of it. You can sort of play around with it until you're happy with it. But you can make a gradual slope up to an area if you've got your farmhouse up here, your farm, sale point, whatnot like that. So that is it. That is a guide to the build mode and landscaping. Sorry if it was a bit all over the place, but it's quite a lot to get your head round. I'm still learning myself. So if you have all enjoyed it, please give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, then please do, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos of mine. I've been Farm Sim Snowy. Stay frosty.